Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to April's Deal Clinic Live. With our direct to vendor and below market value specialist, David Giraldo of Giraldo Services. We have our investing lending specialist, Bruce Mannering of Bond Finance Limited. And we have also Tim Sanders, who is our own investor and also been here representing you, the investor. I'm going to do a quick intro about David because he's actually a qualified lawyer and educated himself in investing actually, this is really important, through a really good company. He went to a solid training company to get his sourcing training. And the reason I mentioned that is there's a lot of information out there that can be free on certain channels, okay, and platforms, but it's really important that you find somebody that can give you that quality education, that one-to-one feedback, and can actually guide you across the path, and more importantly, help you avoid any pitfalls. Okay, we have our own mentoring course for investors also. So please do feel free to reach out. But if not, please make sure that you are acquiring solid training in that industry. Okay, so David actually came to the UK. He's learned his craft and has been sourcing for a while now, and has done over 3 million worth in deals. Okay, primarily covers Liverpool and the northwest of England, and has many strategies which are usually turnkey and range from simple buy-to-lets, multi-lets, HMOs. Main thing is he is direct to vendor and usually finds a good deal that is below market value, which is actually rare these days. So today's opportunities I'm excited about. One is from a portfolio in Liverpool, and the second is a HMO based in Doncaster. Now, without further ado, before I introduce you to David, I'm actually going to play you a short video bite that will give you a little bit more information. Okay, bear with me with my tech abilities.
Hi guys, my name is David Giraldo. I'm one of the sources helping you to acquire your properties in this platform. I'm a lawyer, that's my background. I came to the UK over 10 years ago to do a master's degree in international law. My life changed a bit and I decided to become a property investor and a sourcer now. That's one of my business. I have a portfolio, not just in the UK, but also overseas. So I kind of know a little bit what is it that you are looking for as well. Last year, we sold over 3 million, almost 3 million worth in properties. So we helped quite a few investors just like you to achieve their goals and to buy the properties they were looking for. In fact, my specialty is to work with investors who are overseas, buying and looking for properties in the UK. So we can provide all the services, all they need to achieve those goals investment. So we can provide not just the find the property, but also helping them with the broker if they need one, with solicitors if they need one, to all the way to like do the survey, but also explain the survey when people need something clear to understand the survey. We can get quotes from builders. But when the property needs something, so after the survey, so we can do that as well. We can help with the quotes, with the refurbishment as well if you need it, and letting agents. So it's pretty much a turnkey service what we would like to provide, and we have done it. Our areas where we specialize is mostly the north of the country: Liverpool, Manchester, Leeds, Sheffield. But also in London, and we have already a network of people in those places. So I hope I can see you guys in the future, and I'm looking forward to work with you. All the best.
Okay, perfect. So David, I would love to hand over to you for Deal Clinic Live.
Hi, Bonnie. Hi, everybody. Very glad to be here. I'm going to share a bit of a presentation as well to, well, although you have said already, but just people can know better a bit more about me. So I'm David Giraldo. I'm Colombian. I've been in the UK for over 13 years now. I'm a lawyer. I came here to do a master's in international law, but I stayed and I changed my life. I'm in property full time. As you say, Bonnie, I have a couple of trainings in terms of sourcing and property. One with Simon Suchi, who is a very established mentor in the UK, and Walter Portens, who is great as well. And I have worked with over 100 investors already in my almost 3 years doing this business. And I have sold, over 3 million already of property. What I try to do is to work for my clients are the investors. Obviously, I work for you. I don't work for the sellers. So I try to use my background to help people in a professional way, to be reliable and to work with integrity. That's very important for me. I also like to think that I'm a boots on the ground for people who are overseas, so I can provide what people need in terms of the team of solicitors, surveyors, builders, recommend letting agents. So at this point, after a few years doing this business, I know what you need, and I have already a network that I can provide and put you in touch with, so you can have a hands-off investment. Basically, that's the idea, that you can just buy and know that you have an investment that is making you money, especially if you are overseas, but also if you are in the UK. We are happy to work with you as well. This is my profile in LinkedIn. It says there that there are no upfront fees, so there is no risk for you if you work with me. Just on completion is when I get my fee. That means that you are happy with your investment, and it's at that point that you pay me. In the meantime, I do the work for you and trying to help you acquiring what you want, what you need. I don't know if you want me to go through to the first property, Bonnie, already, or.
Yes, absolutely. I'm excited to see this. Let's go for it, David.
Great. So the first property is this one. It's actually a 2-beds terrace in Liverpool, which is part of can you see my screen that I changed to the property? Great. Okay, this is a 2-bed house in L4. It's actually a part of 11 properties, the portfolio that is 11 properties in total. This is one of them. This is the purchase price of this one is 85,500. The market value of this property is around 92. So the gross yield is 986. It is very close to the port, 25 minutes away from the city center. It is off market. The entire portfolio is off market. The properties are, this property and the other 10 are in good condition. So whoever acquires them, they don't need to invest or to make any works on them, because they are pretty much ready. The closest station is Kirkdale, which is walking distance pretty much. This property in particular is rented, is acquired at the moment £700. Is getting £700 per month. All the properties in the portfolio are rented. Which this one, well, I said already, this one is almost 10% yield. There are no works to do in the properties. They are pretty much ready, as I said. And if you allow me, I'm going to share this again. I'm going to this presentation, so I can show you the numbers of the other details. Can you see my spreadsheet?
Yes, can see this, David. I think you've just beat me to. I was going to ask you if you could share the purchase price of the total portfolio as well as the yield and cash flow, if possible.
I think we can see it here, can we? In this.
Amazing. Yes, I can see.
Okay. So all the properties are great. All the properties are in L4, 2, 3, and 2, 3, and 4 beds. This one down here. Let me move this down. Okay. The asking price, well, it changes. This one, for example, is 85, but this one is 97 because there is a bathroom in there. This one has just a shower. All in good condition. That's what GC means. There are these two, for example, in Clovelly Road, are next to each other. The seller was considering to join them, to make there a big HMO. But he is tired. He's retired. He doesn't want to do anything else at the moment. And this one, Morella, there is enough space at the back to either extend the property, which a lot of the neighborhood in the houses in the neighborhood have done it, or there is actually enough space to build another house in there. So this one is a great opportunity. Some of them have a brand new boiler, alarm systems. Basically, he's been a very good landlord, and his properties are in great condition. The rents, some of these tenants have been there for a while, so the rents, there is potential to increase the rents, and the price is negotiable. The total asking price at the moment is 1.4 million, and the annual rental is £102,000. The yield average of the entire portfolio, the 11 properties, is 7.21. And that's it for me for now.
Yeah, no, that's amazing, David. So thank you for that. And we can see, thank you so much for generously sharing that information. That's really key there that you have. So it's important to be able to see what they can acquire as independent units as well as the portfolio. So overall, the portfolio actually is performing very, very well, really. Yeah. And then obviously some properties a little bit better than others. So great yields. I mean, the fact that one that you've just presented, the 2-bed, has almost a 10% yield is amazing, Yeah. I've checked the chat box. We don't have any questions yet, but I just want to welcome, before Bruce, we come to you, I just want to welcome our live investors who are with us here today. So we have Andrew Keith, Damien McLaughlin, Farouk Mohammed, Jen Genius, I hope I have pronounced your name correctly, Jessica Sivans, Leroy Dilworth, Louis Lazou, I hope I've pronounced your name properly as well, Norbert Jasko, hello Norbert, lovely to see you, Oliver Tucker, great to see you here as well, Paul Blake, Rafa B, and Tanisha Anderson, lovely to see you here, Tanisha, as well. So that's just a quick welcome to our live guests with us, and welcome to any of the viewers that watch the replay. Bruce, coming back to you, is there a specific product that we can recommend for our investors to help purchase either the buy-to-let or the portfolio? And I believe, David, correct me if I'm wrong, that the investor is open to splitting the portfolio. Is that correct? The seller is
yeah, he is willing to sell part of them. I mean, yeah, but ideally he would like to deal with just one investor.
Perfect, brilliant. Thank you so much. Bruce, over to you. So before we actually hand over to Bruce, just to let you know, people, that we work closely with Bruce. He's one of our power team on the platform, and he's been in this industry for a long time with regards to nurturing and developing those relationships with the investors, not just our own, and has access to the whole of the market. So can actually have access, because of their strong key relationships, they have access to things that might not necessarily be available to the regular lender on the high street. And their key aspect is quality client service. So with that, Bruce, I'd love to hand over to you.
Thank you for that beautiful introduction, Bonnie. I've got a quick deck of slides just to quickly go through, just to say who I am, what we do, and then I've actually tailor-made those slides for foreign nationals and expats looking to buy these properties either individually or as a whole portfolio. So let me just pull up the slides, share and play. There we are. Okay, right. Welcome everybody. This is a short introduction about myself. This presentation is mainly directed at expats and foreign nationals. Obviously, we've got a big UK presence and we deal with a lot of UK lenders. So I'm going to touch on what lenders are looking for if you're an expat or foreign national. I'm going to quickly touch on first-time buyer rates, second-time buyer rates, and portfolio mortgages, tailor-made to David's portfolio. So, who's Bond Finance? Well, I started the company back in 2004. It's going to be 20 years next year, which is absolutely crazy. We're FCA regulated, founding members of the NACFB. If your broker doesn't have these 2 qualifications, find another firm. We've basically got 2 departments. We've got a residential and buy-to-let department, and we've got a commercial department. So we can pretty much cover off all inquiries. That's my merry band of men and ladies in the city office. There's about 12, 13 of us. So we're a mid-sized firm, and our main office is there next door to Tower Bridge. And I'm currently in Brisbane this month. Next month, I'll be back in the UK, so I'll be right side up. So I'm upside down currently. And that's basically us. So what are lenders looking for to lend to foreign national expats? Well, they're looking for good income. They're looking for UK landlord experience and mortgage profile in the UK. Now, most of my clients are just starting to invest in the UK and don't have that profile. We can still help, but basically your first loan is at 65 to 70%, but your second loan will be 75%. What I have learned is I've just come back from Singapore, and I've just done a presentation in Singapore. They use their personal income for buy-to-lets. In the UK, we go off the rental income. So if you are an overseas investor, you can much easily build your portfolio in the UK than in Singapore, which I never knew. I thought I'd share that. So my go-to lender for any of David's properties, if you're a first-time buyer, would be Octopus. They've got a 2-year loan, 2-year fixed at 6.99. And it's basically a credit builder loan. You can buy it, minimum loan 50,000, maximum loan 200. They'll do single lets, and they'll do the HMO as well, which David's going to show a bit later. I've done all the rental stress tests already because David shared his slides earlier, and it all stacks up at 70%. Now, if you are a second-time buyer, Quantum is available to you at 75%. They do have a quite good tracker rate here with very low early repayment charges. So you may not want to fix now on a 5-year rate because rates are quite high and they're due to come down Q3, Q4. So you may want to start off with a tracker rate and then look to switch and fix. So Quantum allow you to switch to a fixed rate with no fees, which is fantastic. So it's a very good, nice option. I do like Quantum for foreign nationals and expats. Now, if you're looking to buy David's portfolio and you are a overseas buyer, I would recommend HTB because the rates at above $1 million are very good. You're looking at 5.69% for a 2-year fix and 5.99% for a 5-year fix. You may, I think I didn't do the rental stress for the 2-year. I think you may have to take the 5-year rate to get 75% across the whole portfolio, but 5.99 is quite good. I do expect these rates to come down with HTB because Shawbook have just lowered their rates. Shawbook, these are the old slides. Shawbook rates are now 5.49%. Not 6.49. So I put the wrong slides up here. So over $1 million, Shawbook is at 5.49%. So that's me. Oh, my contact details, sorry, is on Bonnie's website. Sourcing investments. Sorry, here we go. If anybody wants to take a picture, or you can just email me at bondfinance.co.uk. Yeah, I'm here to help with any questions any investors have got. Back to you, Bonnie.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Bruce. And I did drop in thank you for sharing your contact information. I have actually dropped that into the chat box as well. So with regards to, Tim, I'm going to come over to you very shortly as our investor. With regards to what you mentioned about the fixed and flex there, Bruce, sorry, what would you you recommended doing quantum, did you say, because of the flexibility around that? Because obviously, as you mentioned, interest rates are really high at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, they're sort of at the peak. But we're expecting rates to come down very shortly. So a lot of my more mature investors are going for tracker rates currently, just to secure good deals, and then they're looking to either remortgage or do a switch and fix with quantum once the swap rates come down Q4, Q1 next year. That's what we're predicting.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you for that. I just wanted to double check that. Okay, and then with regards to the portfolio you mentioned, I wasn't quick enough to take down the stats for the percentages, but it was 5.69 for the 2 year for the 1 mil and over.
Yes.
Is that fixed, or is there flex on that as well?
No, the HTB only offer fixed rates. But I forgot to do the stress test on the 2 year rate on the income. I know it definitely fits on the 5 year fixed rate, but I don't know if it fits at 75% on the 2 year rate. I can do the calculation a bit later.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. And then obviously, if any of the investors watching either now live or actually on the replay, they will be able to actually contact you and acquire that information directly from you as well, if needs be. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, Tim, over to you. I'm surprised we don't have any questions yet. This must mean that we are answering the questions ahead of time. So, Tim, please do feel free to ask anything that you need from an investor's perspective, or thanks, even Bon. Your own.
Thanks, Bon. First off, the rates that Bruce has just put on are very competitive. I'm now a UK resident. I started investing as an overseas expat investor in the UK and moved back to the UK. I'm currently on portfolio tracker mortgages, and my rates are pretty terrifying at the moment, but the fact that they're coming down is nice. But the rates that Bruce has just put up are very competitive. So if I wasn't so close into my mortgages, I would be looking to take some of Bruce's products there. And also the early repayment charges, I've never seen anything so low on that. So definitely that's very competitive. My only real questions to David is could you elaborate more on the 2 Cleverly Road properties that have got some HMO potential, and give us a little bit more detail about what potential we have there, and what is there any planning permission needed and things like that.
Okay, thanks for the question, Tim. Is these 2 properties? One of them 3 beds, the other one 3 plus a loft. There is no planning, but because they are next door to each other, the seller thought that it would be possible to do it, and he was thinking to go through the planning and all that, but I said he just want to get off the game, and but they said that's it. That's all the information I have, I'm afraid.
Bruce has
got a quick question, David. Is Liverpool L4 in an Article 4 area?
It is.
Okay, so you would need to get planning to use it as an HMO, which is actually quite good news. I know people sort of shine away from planning, but I love planning, because it drives up the value of the property. Because there's an Article 4 directive in place, it adds a scarcity value. And if you do convert it to an HMO, or even combine both properties together and get sui generis planning, you can then get a yield-based valuation on those properties, which will be significantly higher than bricks and mortar. So I'm a big fan of Article 4. A lot of people shine away from it. Obviously, you need to do your due diligence, make sure the density in the area is not too high, probably speak to a planning consultant locally. And yeah, if it is viable, I would definitely look to do it to improve the unit. I've also got another question. Sorry to take over, Bonnie. The last on the portfolio, the last property in the portfolio, how big is the back bit? You said you could build a house or extension on the back.
To be honest, Bruce, I got this information yesterday.
Okay.
I don't know exactly. I didn't ask that question, even though I should have. But he says that the garden is big enough to build another house, and he says that other houses in the same road, the same street, have extended the property massively because it's huge space at the back. So that's information I have, that other people have done.
There could be a little gem there, a diamond in the rough, which we can uncover later. But
because the planning,
because it's not with the local estate agent and it's part of a portfolio, you can generally get these little gems. So definitely worth looking into that one a bit more.
Exactly, because other the neighbors have done it, then it's easier, obviously, to get planning to do it, right?
Yeah. Spot on.
The way my brain would be going for that one would be to create a small little let's say annex at the back and Airbnb that. Are there any licensing regulations for Airbnb in the area for serviced accommodation?
There is not yet, as far as I'm aware.
That's even better, because create a nice little outhouse or something and have a nice
all these properties are in Anfield, which is next door to the stadiums, right? So both the stadiums are, the Everton and the Liverpool stadium are walking distance. So it's a great area for Airbnb.
Brilliant. That'd be where my brain would be going as well.
Yeah.
That would be an amazing investment. Definitely. We have a question from Jessica Sivens. Thank you, gentlemen, for your questions. Jessica would like to know: is the mortgage payment already deducted to calculate the ROI, David?
No, it is not. Those costs are not included in the.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, Jessica, usually because there are too many anomalies with regards to mortgages, what each investor can acquire or has. From an investment perspective to actually use as seed, we leave those as the variables, so for the investor to calculate into their own when they're doing their own due diligence. I hope that answers your question. She does have another, and I think maybe Bruce, this might be for yourself. Is it possible to get a mortgage with the bank or at a better rate or not?
Well, I'm not too sure where Jessica is in the world. But I've just given expat and foreign national rates to which are available in Hong Kong. Excellent. So Hong Kong is below 6 on the International Basel Index. So those rates are probably the best she's going to get in Hong Kong. I can't think of any other lender. If you were borrowing a lot more money, I can get slightly cheaper rates, but those rates you've got there are the market leading for foreign nationals. They are definitely the market leading for this portfolio. I've tailor-made those rates for this portfolio. If it was a different portfolio, I get cheaper rates. Okay.
I second that as well. Going on the rates that I've got as a UK resident, they are very competitive.
Yeah, very competitive. And as I mentioned on the outset, Bruce has developed such quality relationships, really, that he's able to access things that the rest of the high street haven't got access to. Okay, thank you, gentlemen. We do have another question. I'm not sure who this person is. They've come up as anonymous, so apologies that I am not reading your name out. And basically, the question is, can you tell me what the EPIC ratings are in the portfolio? So if you can just give me clarity around what you're referring to with regards to EPIC ratings. I'm not sure if you're talking about yield or cash flow.
I think EPC is what I would imagine that to be, the EPC ratings.
Thank you, Tim. Yeah. Just if the anonymous attendee could just let me know and just clarify if that's what we're looking for. In the meantime, David, do we have the EPC ratings for the portfolio?
I understand most of them, if not all of them, D. They are D.
Okay, perfect. Brilliant. Thank you so much. And Jessica has actually responded and she said, thank you. So we can get 75% of the property price. Is that right?
That is correct if she is a second-time buyer. If she's a first-time buyer, we'll be looking at Octopus at 70%. and I'm only currently 2 hours ahead of Hong Kong. So if she wants to reach out to me tomorrow, I'm on the same time zone. Okay.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, gentlemen, we haven't had any other update with regards to Epic ratings or EPC. So let's continue to property 2, I think.
Just very briefly on that, Bond, just before we move on, for the EPC ratings, this is something I keep an eye on for my properties. I've got a lot of properties in Scotland, and England and Scotland have different rules and regulations between the EPC ratings. So you're good for your D rating for England properties up until 2028. And then after that, then you would need to sort of make a few improvements, possibly a new boiler or something in 5 years or so, to keep up with the standards that England and Wales require.
Amazing. Thank you for mentioning that, actually. And with regards to that, David, just with regards to, obviously we've gone through property 1 or one of the 11, but with regards to the other 10, are they also, I know that you mentioned they're good condition, but that's from the internal and the external positioning. But what about those things such as boilers, roofs, windows, double glazings as such? Are they all in good condition as well? No, or could it be that we're looking to replace any of those in the next couple of years?
As far as I'm aware, no, they are all in good condition. The landlord is great. Is a great landlord, and everything's up to date. And I'm aware, as Tim said, that may be the question about the EPC because they changed the legislation. So a lot of people think that, or some people think that the EPC needs to be updated to C next year. But that's for the properties that are going to be newly tenanted. All these properties have been tenanted for a while, so the 2028 rule will apply in those cases. So it's still a bit of time, and let's see what is going to happen, because actually, who knows if all those properties, all the terrace houses in the UK can be actually C. So there is a bit of a controversy there, right? If the properties can be, if that can be enforced.
Yeah, that's a great point to mention. Jessica's asked with regards to the tenant agreement, do you know how long the tenant agreement is pending?
They are all different. They are all different. Some a few months, some a year, or some like that. So it's different.
Amazing. Jessica, what I would say to you is get in touch directly with David, register to the platform, and then you'll be able to find David on the platform itself, or you can click on the link and register to David's window directly. He'll be able to share a lot more with regard to the tenancy schedules that per property, actually, so that you have the full information per portfolio. You're registered online. Okay, perfect. Then find David's window via the link that I've already put into the chat, and then you'll be able to pose that question with him. I will be showing at the end of the show how to get in touch with David and have a direct conversation with him. If you download the Sync app, it's available on Android and Apple, both free to download. You'll be able to have conversations not with just David, but with ourselves and with any of our agents, should I say, on the platform, as well as our power team. Okay, perfect. David, I think let's move on to the next one then. So deal 2, please.
Deal 2. This is a HMO. I'm aware of the time, so I'm going to be quick on this one. This is about 5 beds, HMO it's in between Doncaster and Sheffield. It's 20 minutes each. City is 20 minutes away from this house. The landlord or the owner bought it a couple of years ago, do all the works, turn into HMO. He has a license. It's fully renovated and is now fully tenanted. And it's fully tenanted now to a company. Just one company is renting the whole rooms, and he has a management company doing all for him. So it's 100% hands off, no refurbish needed at all, and is making money every month basically. So this is completely turnkey investment. The purchase price, the asking price, $215. He is not very willing to reduce anything really, so this is the minimum he will go for. It is off market, as said before. It's rented to a company that is taking the whole thing, and is producing 26,400 per year. The expenses of this one is around 550 per month. The bills, and it's a 10 management fee. So the gross yield is 12%, 28. I think that's pretty much it, really. I can show the pictures because it's in great condition, basically.
Amazing. Amazing. Yes, it's always lovely to see the pictures, David. So
Yeah.
whilst you're flicking through those pictures, David, did you mention, sorry, apologies, I was adding your links to the chat box. Did you mention the reason for the investor selling this HMO? Sorry.
He just wants to put his money somewhere else. He's buying a bigger building, a commercial building, and he wants to get. He's selling this one and another one. He's selling 2 HMOs. He hasn't given me the information of the other one, but he's selling 2 HMOs to buy a commercial building now. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is a HMO in Doncaster. This is exciting. 5-bed and great yield, by the way, great yield. And you mentioned, did you say 550 for bills?
Yeah, 550, 600.
Okay, brilliant.
I noticed there is a mistake in the post here in the somewhere. It says that it's 4 bathrooms. All the rooms have their own ensuite, so it's 5 rooms, 5 bathrooms.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And it has a storage room, has a bike shed in the back. So it's a nice modern HMO, basically.
And it looks clean and spacious, which is brilliant.
Yeah, it is nice. Yeah, it is nice. And I also noticed there is a mistake here with the picture. It's the same one. It should be the kitchen here. I will update that.
Okay, perfect. With regards to its positioning, RE location, you mentioned with the other property, obviously, you know, it's by Anfield. It's got two football stadiums very close by. What would be a great point from this one's location?
This one is, as I said, it's 20 minutes away from Sheffield, 20 minutes away from Rotherham, and 20 minutes away from Doncaster. And there are hospitals nearby. The Rotherham General Hospital. There is this one, the Northern General Hospital. So easy transport links, and it's in a great area. Very
amazing, amazing. And did you mention it's already been leased for a few years? Tenant has been agreed.
Tenanted, yeah. He used to be rented on room by room, and I think 6 months ago is one company. I don't know exactly which company is that, but we might find out if that is of interest. That is rented the whole house, basically, just one house, one company rented the whole property.
Okay, so that's more like a commercial.
Yeah.
Amazing, fantastic. Okay, perfect. That's brilliant. So shall we go to Bruce?
Yes, it would be good to get a copy of that lease agreement, just to look at the devil in the detail, because some lenders only lend to ASTs, some lenders want break clauses, but in both directions every 2 years. Some lenders only accept leases which are not longer than 5 years. So it'll be good to drill down into that contract, and also what the tenant type is. With en-suites, it generally is professionals. So generally it's contractors in a local area looking to do a little specific project, and that's why they take a whole building. So I'm assuming it's that, and it's not any supported living. It doesn't look like a supported living like sort of HMO. Definitely looks professional. So it's very nice.
No, that is the case, Bruce. Thank you for helping there. Yes, that's the case. It's professionals. They are doing a project in the area, and that's why they got it. It's at 6 months. The lease is 6 months, rolling.
Okay, that's a very good guess by me.
Yes, sir, indeed.
Amazing. So thank you so much for that, Bruce. Really do appreciate that. Tim, do you have any questions regarding this deal?
No, I've just been doing some quick numbers, some calculations while you guys have been chatting, and I like it. I like the fact that it's one company that rents the whole place. As you were saying, if it's someone like a company that's local, I know a lot of people, let's say in Stoke-on-Trent, somewhere like that, they use the lorry companies. They lease out a whole place for their truck drivers to stop over every night. But yeah, that cash flows really nicely with that yield and that monthly income. So hassle-free, right? Completely hassle-free, like no issue with voids and things like that. Something that I would definitely look at. Yeah, I like that a lot.
I love it. I always love doing these Deal Clinic lives because, you know, especially when we have Tim on board, it's like he gets first dibs. That's not what happens, by the way, just FYI. But I'm just saying, he gets excited. So we don't have any other questions with regards to our investors who are currently on live. For those of you that watch the replay on the YouTube channel, which will be uploaded later, not today, it takes a little while to edit this, probably in about a week's time. But if you do see anything and you would like to pose some questions, do feel free to email us at admin@sourcinginvestments.co.uk. Tim, I believe you have your hand up.
I do, yes. I did just think, with the license that they've got currently in place, is there a set number of people that can be covered under that license? Obviously, the license covers, let's say, a double room or a single room. Is there, are they all double rooms that can be used, or are they singles in terms of number of people?
5 people.
5 people. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely workers rather than couples for sure. The amount of cash flow that's in there, I mean, I've got that around sort of 750, 800 a month cash flow, which I like.
So just to confirm that, Tim, for the viewers who may be new to investing, their investing journey, when you say that as a cash flow, is that after all expenses?
Yes, that's after all expenses. So that would be me calculating the mortgage rates, the mortgage repayments on the rates that I'm currently on, which are a little bit higher than what Bruce has got. And that's with the bills as well. And within that, I suppose there's a little contingency within that as well. But I've got that cash flowing at about 750 a month. I'd say let's put a 50 to £100 contingency in there for damages. And yeah, the cash flow is lovely.
That's really good, isn't it? So if and as you mentioned a couple of times, your interest rate is higher than what Bruce has advertised, because obviously you were expat abroad when you got that, and so your rates are slightly higher. So we're looking at potentially 800, really.
Not quite 800. I think it's okay. It would be. Oh, sorry, no, for Bruce's rates, yeah, for Bruce's rates, potentially 800, especially if you're a more seasoned investor as well, even if you're expat, then yeah. Amazing. Okay, so that's 800 cash flow. This is fantastic. Jen has got a question for us. She says, hello everyone, what are the comparatives in the area price wise? Jen, I believe that must be for the HMO.
There are not many comparatives to comparables really for HMOs in that area.
Okay,
yeah, that's the problem with HMOs. They're like hen's teeth. When you get a good one, no one sells them unless they have to. And this guy, it looks like this guy wants to because he's got a bigger project.
Yeah. There is a good way. It's not something everybody likes to do, but it's called gross rate multiplier. I don't know if you've heard of this, Bruce. I'm sure you will have done, where the investor or the agent can look at it from a commercial aspect and get an average. So you would take the annual rental income and multiply it anywhere between 4 and 8. When I was an agent, I used to use 6 as just as a good general midpoint. So that will give you the potential value of that HMO as a business. I hope that answers your question, Jen. Sometimes you used to have to use that as the rule of thumb, really as a general overview when there weren't any comparables in place, because when there aren't, the only price point comparable we have is properties that size that have been sold as a buy-to-let, so as a family home, which doesn't take into consideration the rental income that is possible from a HMO. So I hope that helps. Yes, gross rate multiplier. Yes, absolutely. Perfect. Okay, brilliant. Gentlemen, any additional questions? Those have been great questions from the investors that have engaged today. Any other questions, any comments with regards to what we've seen? David, I've loved this show. I've loved seeing the portfolio, very juicy, portfolio and the HMO as well. Great properties, truly. Bruce, I can see Bruce is in down under. What did you say? Upside down.
Upside down. I'm upside down this month. I'm right side up next month.
Yeah, so gravity is pulling hard, right, on the energy. So, Bruce, have you got anything to add before we end the show?
No. there's a few gems in that portfolio. I would definitely want to have a good rummage around. So expect some inquiries, David. Okay.
I agree there, David. I mean, I've dropped in the links for people to get in touch with you via your website within our platform. I do encourage any investors who are here live who are interested in or even wanting more information to please do get in touch with David. Like I say, he's been absolutely brilliant with helping his investors. You've seen the information that is in his video bio and also from the information that he's posed with 2 properties today. His key aspect is that he is direct to vendor, so he's able to pose those questions of anything that needs to be asked. Tim's put in, hello Tim. Tim's put in, have you got a link to the portfolio? You would need to get in touch with David, Tim, and David will be able to go through and walk you through the portfolio itself, because 11 properties, we unfortunately, we would love to walk through each one, but we just don't have that time frame, unfortunately. So if you either register to the platform or you are registered, get in touch with David Giraldo. So Giraldo Services is his website on the platform, or email myself, Bonnie, at sourcinginvestments.co.uk, or email admin@sourcinginvestments.co.uk if you can't find him, and we'll be able to help guide you there towards him. Tim, anything that you would like? Oh, sorry, David, you have your hand up?
I am. Just to add that that portfolio, the seller is open to offers. So the asking price at the moment is 1.4. He will reduce if the serious is if the offer is serious. He will be open to negotiation. So. Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you for letting us know that. And if I remember correctly, the vendor is retiring, I believe you said. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. So that gives you some scope of information as to why they are selling and why they may want a quick sale, shall we say. Okay. Thank you for sharing that, David. Really appreciate you. Tim, anything final before we sign off from this month's show?
No, that's everything from me. Thank you, David. I echo what Bruce says. Some really interesting ones in there. If I was in a position, if I was looking to buy right now, I'd be in contact for sure. Amazing.
Okay, perfect. Gentlemen, thank you all so much for your contribution, your time, your energy, and investors that are viewing live and on the replay. I thank you. We all thank you, and we look forward to seeing you on next month's show.